because how do you acquire customers? Let's talk about this story. This is a 15-year-old story. I think it's maybe 16 years. I mean, I'm pulling from Shark Tank now. Years and years ago, these two from Cohasset, Massachusetts came on the set of Shark Tank. They're called Wicked Good Cupcakes. And the reason I want to bring this case up, it was the first time the network had ever seen this happen. The only social media platform working at the time that had any video up to 30 seconds was Twitter. Used to be X, is now X, it was Twitter. That was the only social media platform. So these two come out, Tracy and Danny. Tracy's the mother on the right in the white. Danny is in the red shirt, daughter. They made cupcakes and they put them in a mason jar, 6 in a kit. Stupidest idea I've ever seen, because the weight of the package was insane. I mean, you take a cupcake, which is made in a commercial kitchen. Around here, there must be 6 commercial kitchens supplying all of the donut stores and this hotel and everything else. It's a commodity. But they said that they made these really good cupcakes with no additives, just pure cream, put them in a mason jar, and they're wicked good cupcakes. And I'm looking down the line as they're serving them up, and Cuba's on the far right, and he's on his second one. He's chowing it down, like eating this thing like crazy. 660 calories a jar. That's crazy. But nobody wanted to invest in them. They wanted $250,000 to get a commercial kitchen set up near Boston so they could ship. They were so persuasive that finally, just to get them out of there, I gave them the $250. I couldn't take it anymore. But I said, guys, I know I'm going to lose my dough. So this is the first Shark Tank royalty deal in history. I want $1 a jar until I get my $250 back and 50 cents in perpetuity. And Danny, the daughter, says, don't do it, Mommy, he's evil. And I said, maybe so, but I'm the only offer you got, kid. What are you going to do? So they took it, and I forgot about the deal. Then it airs. Now, here's where it gets crazy. These two are very authentic on TV. They're clearly in a classic mother-daughter relationship with all the tension that entails. And they work their asses off, 18, 20 hours a day in their little commercial kitchen in Cohasset. If they're lucky, they sell 60 kits a day. It airs on Shark Tank, 8 minutes, network TV, 90,000 orders. That had never been seen before. Why? Why did that happen? Because every mother in America connected with their authenticity on television and wanted to help them and support them. 90,000 orders, and there's 6 in every order. There weren't enough mason jars in America to fill that. And so we had to go back and say, hey, listen, thank you for your orders, but we're going to give you a free jar or whatever. You're going to have to wait till we get these things from China. We didn't lose any orders. People want to support them. But it gets crazier. So as they're trying to fulfill over the next 90 days, obviously tempers got frayed. And imagine the stress the family was under. Everybody was working, trying to get this thing going. The network was interested. They wanted to shoot a follow-up. These guys were in a pressure cooker. And Danny one day on a vertical video takes a video in the kitchen in the morning of a fight she's having with her mother, Tracy. Not a fight. It was really nasty. Nasty. Authentic, nasty, bad stuff. Words were spoken. I'm sure she wished were not recorded. She posts it. It goes viral. Within minutes, I get a call from Disney saying, what the beep is that? You got to get that down. That's not family values. ABC is owned by Disney. Same with MGM, same with Sony. Everybody's freaking out saying, you got to get that down. We'd never seen anything like it. The thing is going crazy. So I called Tracy. I said, hey, Tracy, you know why I'm calling. She said, look, I know Danny posted this thing. Everybody in the family's calling me. But Kevin, we were selling 9,000 a minute. Okay. So I call back Clay, the producer. I said, Clay, they're selling 9,000 kits a minute off this video. He says, whoa. I call her back. Keep fighting. So what happened was they became the Kardashians of cupcakes. She posted everything. They were authentic. They used social media. Their customer acquisition costs, zero. They just kept this narrative going as they grew their base, and people kept ordering these things as Tracy and Danny built their business. They did something no one ever done before. This was the first evidence of social media we'd ever seen on Shark Tank. And all the networks were watching it. It was going crazy. They got so big that Hickory Farms bought them out. Tracy is now a screenwriter in LA, a very wealthy woman. Danny married a drummer. I did the prenup. He'll get nothing. So it's a fantastic American story of entrepreneurship, but it gives you some evidence about how important social media is for both large and small businesses, and why it's the focus today of both the seller and buyer side. This is a form of network television, if you want to call it that, that actually acquires customers, maintains customers, builds customer loyalty, and above all, builds brand. So social media matters.